What's going on, y'all? We back with another one. So today we're gonna talk about mental health. Now, I was just trying to hold up, let it focus. I was just trying to record this video a few times, but I think I tried to overlap it with mental illness, because mental health, mental illness. But I think what I'm trying to get more towards is, people being aware of their mental health, and mental illness is a part of that. But I think it's a whole nother conversation. Like mental illness is also something that people are continuing day by day to see. Oh well, this is real. Oh, well, this is real. There's a lot of dismissal of it. At least in my upbringing, there's a lot of dismissal of mental illness and what that is, or you're not depressed. Like, what do you got to be depressed about? Like, what are you sad about? Uh, and you see that everywhere. But I think that's a whole different conversation, a whole different topic. What I really want to get into is mental health, because I feel like not enough people take it seriously, and too many people are okay with saying some really outlandish things. Like, let me first say, the one thing that I don't really I and don't get me wrong, like I get it because it becomes so common and it just becomes like, oh, that's whatever. But if somebody's like, oh my god, like I feel like killing myself or I want to kill myself, like before I used to just be like, same, you know what I mean? Like I get where you coming from, but I think the older I got, the more I was just like, yo, that's not cool. Like it that number one, like that automatically raises a red flag in my head because I'm like, yo, like where's that coming from? And there's always some truth to the words that some people speak, whether it's you want the attention and you want people to pay attention to, this is how I really feel, or you're just saying it because everybody else is saying it around you and you want the same attention that you see they might be getting. So I don't ever and don't get me wrong, I even the people around me, I'd be like, yo, don't say that. Like, and not even to just dismiss their thoughts or try to diminish how they feel, but part of your mental health and part of living and surviving in this world is your mentality and just what you put out there. So the words you say they have a lot of power. So if you say something literally and you don't mean it, you send mixed messages, right? And if you say it in the wrong company, you're definitely going to send a mixed message, and they might feel way more seriously about it than I do, and they might want to call and do a checkup. You know what I'm saying? Like they might want to check up on you, or they might want to admit you and really see like, oh yo, like this is what they told me. They said they want to kill themselves. Like nah. But I've seen people also use it jokingly, like, oh my god, like, I just feel like killing myself. Like, oh my god, why did I do that? And it's usually over like something very trivial, like a mistake, or something happened. They lost something. They had a bad day. Like all of that doesn't constitute you having to say, oh, I'm going to kill myself or I'm going to end my life. I'm literally saying it because that's how it hits the ear when you say it. Like without and if I were to not say it, I feel like it wouldn't have the same impact. Like it doesn't make sense uh to try to use it in a way that's kind of just common. Like nah, I don't that's not common. That's not something that I feel like people should just be saying because it's not cool and it's not common. Like that's not normal. Like we shouldn't normalize language like that. And I feel like there are people that do normalize their language, like do norm. It's normal to them to say that, but it's not. We're not at a place in society where we should just be normalizing things like, oh yeah, I want to kill myself. Nah, especially when you have all these recent stints of people who were very well known and still committed suicide. You know what I mean? Like I don't joke on that. I'm not joking about killing myself. I'm not joking about, wanting to end my own life. Like, nah, I don't. I feel like in those moments, and if I were to express it, it would be to somebody and I would actually probably be serious about it, or I wouldn't try to publicize it on social media or any type of way like that. Uh, but if you do need that help, then honestly, you have to seek that help. And if you don't want to seek that help, that's on you. Everybody is living their own life, to be honest with you. And I feel like you have to be focused and you have to be aware of how you live your life and the people around you live their lives. And if the people around you aren't supportive enough to hear you out and aren't supportive enough to just, reach out and say, yo, are you good? Like, do you really need help? Like, what's really going on? Like, if they're not asking you why you're saying that, or if they're not like, if they're just enabling it, I don't, I'm not condoning that. So that's just one part of it. But it also comes down to, being aware of where you're at. Like, you have to check in with yourself. You have to check in with how you feeling, how you doing, like, as the days go on, because you live with yourself every day. You know what I mean? Like, you might be around your friends a lot, you might be around your parents, your family a lot, but you got to live with yourself every second of every day. And a lot of what happens and a lot of the actions that you choose to engage in all come from the mind. Like, it all starts up here. And if you don't know how this is doing, then you won't really care about how this is doing either. Like, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, like, all of that is connected to your mind and your own mental health. Like, you got to be aware of how you're feeling, why you're feeling that way. And this all sounds very, like, preachy, but you kind of just have to do the work. Like, you have to literally learn yourself. And a lot of people hate when, you have a conversation with somebody else and they're like, oh, well, you know me too well. I've had conversations with people like that. You my girlfriend, oh, you know me too well. My friends, you know me too well. You know me too well. Like, yeah, but I mean, it's not even a matter of me, like, it's not me trying to, like, oh, well, yeah, me trying to tell you what's wrong with you. No, it's just me being aware of how you act and how you engage in certain things. Not passing judgment on you at all. I just am very aware. I pick up on these things. And just as easy as I can pick up on these things, there's plenty of people in the world that can. So it puts you in a better position if you're aware of, how you come across to people and where your mental health is at. Like, if people are, like, dismissive of a conversation, I'm automatically quick to say, why don't you want to talk about that? Although I'm not going to push the issue. It's one thing to try and help somebody, but it's another thing to try and push yourself onto somebody, and they don't really want that. And push your help upon them. No, not everybody wants your help. Not everybody needs your help. Not everybody's going to seek your help out. You have to be aware of that. You have to be respectful of that. And at the same time, you still have to be supportive of that person. Now, if somebody's going through something and you're very well aware that they're going through something, then, I mean, hey, you can choose how you want to engage with that. Like, if you know, they're having a bad day, times have been hard, they're going through an issue with their relationship, like, you can try and provide that support if you want to, but at the same time, it comes down to the person. Like, you have to do, even when it comes to losing a family member, when it comes to losing a relationship, losing friends, any type of situation that is stressful, you got to let yourself feel it. And I'm not saying, like, you got to be sitting there and you got to be dwelling on it for a month and a half or a year. Like, you have to allow yourself to process how it feels. Check in with yourself and say, yo, how do I really feel about that? If you lose somebody in your life, like, evaluate, yo, why am I mad? Like, if I lost this person, why am I mad? We might have these memories, we might have built up all this great connection, but at the end of the day, this person wasn't healthy for me. At the end of the day, this person wasn't truly looking out for me the same way I was looking out for them. You gotta be aware of that. You gotta be mindful. Um, Leslie is real big on mindfulness, so, pardon me if I'm coming across preaching on being aware of the mind and your mental health, but yeah, man, you have to be aware of these things nowadays. And I think people, especially in a generation where social media is so prominent and social media is everywhere, like, people can put things out there and everybody won't take it seriously until you find out, you know what, this person is really going through real life issues. This person is really committing acts of self-harm. This person is really having suicidal thoughts and tendencies, but you wouldn't know that based on their posts on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Like, you got to be aware. You got to know yourself. You have to do that work. Like, I can't express that and I can't put that out there anymore, but yeah, man, that's probably all I got for right now as far as mental health goes. Just take it seriously. You want to be taken seriously, you have to take it seriously yourself. Take a minute to know yourself. Take a minute to get to know why it is you act the way you do. I'm out.